I'm Heather Benjamin. 2 years after Paul and I moved to New York, I received a letter from my mother. In it was a copy of the Los Angeles Times Magazine, my mother on the cover. A Santa Monica gallery had mounted a showing of her work, and the Times included 7 pages of her hauntingly distant prison collages. She stares out from the cover at the bars of her cell behind her. Beautiful, dangerous, proud. The Times said her lawyer came close to winning a retrial after the first failed appeal. They called her show a triumph. It's too much to imagine her tempering her joy with a moment of grief, a moment for what that triumph had cost. These suitcases are a map of that country, a terrible country I will never revisit. Even so, I find myself thinking of her, wanting to feel that wind. It's a secret wanting, like a song I can't stop humming, or loving someone you can never have. No matter how much she has damaged me, no matter how flawed she is, I know my mother loves me. "22 years ago, I was young and tiny, and the world was a delicious mystery, tantalizing, fresh, unmediated, unexplained, intricate, strange. And grown-ups were a treasure trove of answers, unlocking mysteries and helping me discover new ones. All I had to do was ask. I can't remember exactly when my curiosity turned inward, but I remember the magnetic pull of the mirror and the hours I spent studying the pieces of my face. Each pencil stroke was a question posed. It took a year for me to finish my first self-portrait. I was 12, and I felt like I had arrived upon an answer, tentative, momentarily true.
I like to dance. I like to feel the air inside of my body. I think the dancing will save me from the pain. See, like the music will earth me, but the beat just brings me back to the ground. I go dancing in these gay bars with funny names. I take a lot of pleasure in knowing that I'm a girl in a boy bar. No one is gonna hit on me there. It's awesome. My life is safe. It is. I play outrageous, but my life is safe. It's just enough outrage, lots of safety nets. I live in this old apartment building in Soho. It's where the artists are, and it's right across the hall from this mafia widow, right next door to this idiot, the loudest dog you've ever heard. When he's left alone, I listen to him howl. The sound, it makes me crazy, and I've talked to the owner about it, but he won't listen. On the first day of every new year, I sit down and I write out a list of my goals and my dreams, and I've got a lot of dreams. The foremost of which is I want to be transformed. Because it is what I want. I write it down. I want to be transformed. Somehow writing it down makes it feel like it's actually going to happen. I'm declaring it. I want to be transformed. And I look for it in everywhere I can. I look for it in the eyes of others, but it's not there. I look for it in the hot springs in New Mexico, in the mountains, in the air of New York City, and in the dreams, in the words, in the dreams, and the words that are in my mind while I'm sleeping at night. And I dream that I am in an old city. I'm moving to a new one. I'm in film school, and I'm leaving my mom for the first time. It's June? Oh my God, it's June. I'm 24. I'm 24. I'm about to be transformed. And 22 years ago, I was young and tiny, and the world was delicious, mystery. Tantalizing, fresh, unmediating, unexplained, intricate, strange. And grown-ups were a treasure trove of answers, unlocking mysteries and helping me discover new ones. All I had to do was ask. I can't remember exactly when my curiosity turned inward, but I remember the magnetic pull of the mirror and the hours I spent studying the pieces of my face. Each pencil stroke was a question posed. It took a year for me to finish my first self-portrait. I was 12, and I felt like I had arrived upon an answer, tentative, momentarily true.
Hi, my name is Nayib Hussein. So when I was in college, I had to write this paper. It was for some philosophy class I was taking, basically on any book that we thought best depicted the way that we viewed our lives and the world. And I can remember some people picking books by great thinkers, Kierkegaard and Plato, and some kids picked the Bible. I wrote my paper on Harold and the Magic Purple Crayon. It's a small book, you know, about a little boy who draws the world the way he wants it to be with his magic crayon. And I just loved that book because, well, it was about everything that I wasn't. But the problem in the marriage is that if one person is always Harold, drawing the world the way that he wants it to be with his magic crayon, well, the other person has no choice but to draw the world the way that it is. Which is probably why they never wrote a book about Harold's wife.
And then maybe, yeah, the listeners.
Should I just read it right to the camera?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 22 years ago, I was young and tiny, and the world was a delicious mystery. Tantalizing, fresh, unmediated, unexplained, intricate, strange. And grown-ups were a treasure trove of answers, unlocking mysteries and helping me discover new ones. All I had to do was ask. I can't remember exactly when my curiosity turned inward, but I remember the magnetic pull of the mirror and the hours I spent studying the pieces of my face. Each pencil stroke was a question posed. Now, it took a year for me to finish my first self-portrait. I was 12, and I felt like I had arrived on an answer. Tentative, but momentarily true.
Jonathan Lee Taylor. And then this will be a monologue from Self-Help for Dummies. I laid it all on the line for a woman once. Well, she wasn't exactly a woman. I was 13, and there was this girl in my class, Michelle. God, she was beautiful. I had the biggest crush on her. So did every other guy. I knew I would never stand a chance with her, but I went to that 8th grade dance anyway, with one purpose in mind: get Michelle to slow dance with me. Figured if I could get her to dance just once. Anyway, I went, figuring I was going to have to fight my way through a line of guys just to get close to her, but when I got there, I couldn't believe it. I mean, nobody was asking anybody to dance. And there was Michelle. She was sitting there talking to some friends of hers. She looked lonely, vulnerable, and just irresistibly beautiful. All of the other guys that were looking at her the same way I was, they were all too scared to go near her. So, I took a deep breath. I walked right up to her, and I asked her to dance. And she said no. Nothing else. Just no. I never felt so many different things at one time. It was like my heart was broken. I knew it would be impossible for me to feel any worse than I did at that moment, so I turned and started walking away. And then I heard Michelle laughing at me. Thank you.
What's that?
And it's kind of